This is the Red Podcast.
We're talking about money. How come some people have more than they need and others can't get enough? More importantly, how can you bring more into your life? That's what we're talking about on this episode.
This is the Red Podcast. Real entrepreneur development. Make more money, work less, and live a life of freedom. No BS advice that really works. Here's your hosts, David Hooper and Laurel Staples.
Laurel makes a killer pineapple. My whole mouth went numb.
I don't think I made a pineapple. I did buy a whole pineapple and cut it up for you.
It wasn't ripe enough or something.
It was plenty ripe.
I looked it up. You know, pineapples, they have some kind of enzyme, or maybe it's a citric acid. It actually eats away at the flesh inside your mouth.
That's disgusting.
And that is why it makes your mouth go numb.
So like how numb? Like Novocaine numb, where I was in college and I'm out of the dentist and my whole mouth is numb after getting a cavity filled, and then like drinking a milkshake and the milkshake's like dribbling out of the side of my mouth, like, and I didn't know, like that kind of numb, or like a different kind of numb?
It wasn't really numb, I guess. It was more like having all the skin rubbed away via sandpaper and having it extremely raw.
Oh, but pineapple is your favorite fruit. What are you going to do?
I love pineapple. I don't know. There's an issue. Maybe it's just a bad pineapple, but
it was a good pineapple.
It was tasty for like a second, then it ripped away the skin of my mouth. This is the Red Podcast. Red stands for Real Entrepreneur Development. This is the podcast for authors, speakers, and coaches. We'll help you expand your influence, reach more people with your message, and make more money. We show you how to build a successful personality-based business and live life on your terms.
And eat the pineapple that you want to eat, no matter what.
And eat all the pineapple that you want.
Have you given up on pineapple, David?
No, I'm an American, and I keep doing stuff even when it's dumb until it becomes right.
All right. We'll put a little tiny flag in your pineapple.
If you're not attracting the money that you want and the customers that you want into your life, this is the episode for you. We're going to get a little woo-woo and talk about money mindset. It's something that's come up on the podcast within other episodes quite often. So we're going to do a dedicated episode on money mindset, because some people, they seem to get all the customers, they seem to get all the money. There's an ease to that, client attraction and bringing in money, while other people struggle, even though they're working really hard.
I've seen it very clearly by studying two people that are doing a very similar business. And I work with a lot of coaches. So for me, I can look at two coaches and I can see, okay, one life coach, we'll just say, one life coach doing really well, getting a lot of clients, making a lot of money, able to build their business to new heights, put out digital products, start making money doing that. And another coach, another life coach, doing the same exact thing, offering the same services, doing something very similar in the marketing and branding and all of these things, but they're not having the same level of success, and they're not getting the clients, and they're not making the money. And when you break it down, these two people have similar marketing, similar branding, similar services, but one's doing really well and one's not. And that, to me, comes down to a mindset, a money mindset, a business mindset. And it's something that you really have to add into your recipe for success.
We're going to talk about some big ideas. I'm going to even go so far as to call them beliefs. These are our beliefs about money that you may relate to, you may not. We'd love to hear from you either way. You can Twitter us at The Red Podcast is our username. First big belief that I've got about money is energy.
So explain that when you say money is energy, because I know what you mean, but I want everyone to be on the same page here.
Without sounding too weird, and I got a feeling this is going to get really weird on this episode, but money is more or less a living entity. The first big idea, and this is really a belief, is that there's a flow to money. It's not just a one-way street. An example of that would be the conversation that you and I are having right now. Now, you're not speaking right now, but in order for this to be a conversation, you have to listen to it. I couldn't just speak into an empty room It's like that old saying, if a tree falls in a forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? And I believe that money has a similar flow to it. In order for money to flow to you, it has to flow away from you. It's not a one-sided event.
So how do you keep any of it if it's flowing to you and you're attracting to it and then you're also spending it?
Well, when we talk about money mindset or attracting more money, you have to trust that money's going to come to you. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs understand this because it's not like we have a paycheck that we know is going to be there the next week or the next month. We really don't know. There has to be a level of trust. I think money in general is a lot like that. You have to trust that you're going to have clients next month, have money coming into you next month. But beyond that, you have to trust that you're going to get any more money ever, and you show that trust by actually spending it.
A lot of people get so hardened, like having a clenched fist almost, when they fear that no more money or clients or customers are going to come in. It's like clenching up, and you're not letting anything come into you when you're clenched. And when you can get in the flow, which is what you're talking about, David, is just be in the exchange and be in the flow and let money open your hands up, let money come to you and let money flow from you. You're going to be in a much better position than that person that is scared to death, clenched up, all tightened up, can't let anything come in or go out.
Think of it like this. If we put bars on our house, that's going to keep people from the outside from coming in. But it's also going to keep us from leaving as easily. That's that clenched fist. You think that by not spending money is helping you? Not necessarily. It's also keeping you from receiving more money.
It does depend on what you spend your money on, which we're not going into in this episode, but you got to spend your money on some good things to make that work.
Yeah, from just a logistics standpoint, certainly when you're spending money, you want to spend something that's going to get you return. For example, the podcast equipment that we're talking into right now, microphones, processors, mixer, computer, that enables us to get more money. So from a logistics standpoint, absolutely.
Also, it's a different frequency. When you give money, say you give it to your business or invest in your business, say you give it to a charity or something like that, then it's an energy that's saying, I have more than enough. I have more than enough money that I can do these things. When you don't feel like you have enough money, that's when you're like, I can't afford this. I can't afford that. I can't afford to give to charity. I can't afford anything. That's not the energy, the space, the frequency that you want to be in. When you have that flow, even if you give money before you get money, before you bring money in, it's saying, I have more than enough. And it's putting that trust in the world to bring that money into you.
Yeah, showing faith in yourself and in other people.
Exactly.
You hinted at this when talking about what you spend your money on. My second big belief is that you have to respect money. I'm not saying to put it on a pedestal, but in order to get more of it, you have to be good with the money that you have. You have to have your money in order, have your bank accounts in order, pay your bills on time. This is the issue that lottery winners face. They're not good with a little amount of money. They happen to win the lottery. 4 years later, most of them are broke or even in a worse situation than they were the day before they won the lottery.
Yeah, most are bankrupt at that point. Respecting money can start as small as just organizing the bills in your wallet and cleaning out your wallet, cleaning out all the receipts and the junk and everything from your wallet or from your purse and putting your bills in order. It can be that simple. That's putting the energy out there that I am respecting this money. I'm not cluttering it. I know where it is. I know how it's working. We were watching one of the episodes on CNBC's The Prophet. There was one, he went into this popcorn business and he walked in their office and they just had wads and stacks of cash scattered across the floor. They didn't know where their money was coming or going or how much was there. It was a total mess. So are they going to be able to be successful and to grow their business to the next level if they can't handle what's going on now? Absolutely not. That's not respecting money to throw it around on the ground and not take account of it. You have to know what's going on with your money. And I liked what you said, David. It's setting up the right bank accounts, getting iBank or QuickBooks, paying your bills on time, and showing money that you have a respect for it, no matter how much you have, so that you start to bring in more money.
If you think of it from your business as a speaker, an author, a blogger, a coach, if you had an audience of 12 people that you're speaking to, or a podcast with just 10 or 12 people, you have to show them the same amount of respect that you would show a larger audience if you expect that podcast to grow. You can't just wait to play big and to bring your best until you have an audience of 10,000 people, because that's what's going to get you to the audience of 10,000 people. Same with money.
Something they say to musicians is play to the size of your heart, not to the size of the room. And that's the same as money. And what you said, David, if you have just a few people giving you money, a little bit of money, respect that money. Respect it as if you had millions of dollars. And only then will you be able to grow it.
It's that fine line of trusting that more money is going to be there, but also respecting it. Don't leave it on the ground just where people can walk all over it or where you're not keeping track of it. That was what was interesting about this episode of The Prophet. These people, you could have walked out with a sack of money and they wouldn't have even known.
I can't imagine that building did not get robbed after that show, because it was just like thousands of dollars of cash on the floor and they had no idea how much it was. You could just grab a fistful on your way home from work.
Well, with that said, my other big idea, big belief, is that there is enough money to go around. Just because you have money, Laurel, doesn't mean that I won't have enough for myself. There isn't a limited supply of money. There's a limitless supply of money. So if your competition, a guy with a blog who seems to be doing better than you, seems to be making that much more money than you are, it doesn't mean he's taking money away from you, or vice versa.
I see a lot of people getting into this mentality of there's a limited amount of success, and we're talking about money in this case, but it's like you get into that comparison trap of they have all this success, so there's not enough success for me, or they have all this money, there's not enough money for me, and that just makes no sense at all. There's plenty of money to go around. There's plenty of success to go around. There's absolutely no limit. Just because somebody else has 10,000 customers doesn't mean those customers can't be your customers. So it's not like people spend money on one thing. They might be just as willing to come and spend that money with you. So you can't have a limited view of success or money.
I always think it's a little bit funny when somebody will say, my customers or my listeners. They're not your customers. They're everybody's customers. They're not just your listeners. They're everybody's listeners. Your customer, if you think about it, let's say you go to Target. Well, you're also going to go to Walmart. You're also going to go to Kmart. You're shopping all sorts of places. Nobody buys from or listens to just one person.
Another big belief is that you need to act as if you have the money that you want. If you read any law of attraction books, this is the big one, is you have to act as if you already have the success and the money that you want, and you have to feel as if you already have it. So as they like to say, fake it till you make it. And this is something that really works. If you feel really bad about your financial situation, about your business, about your life, well, what are you going to do? You're going to attract more situations to make you feel bad. But if you start to turn that around, no matter what your situation is, and act as if you have that success level, well, what are you going to do? You're going to pull in other people into your life who see, okay, this guy's got something going on. This guy seems like he's really got it together. And once you pull in that, you're going to pull in opportunities, and opportunities are going to start to pull in money. But if you're just depressed, that's not going to help you attract anything that you want.
Acting as if is doing something even when it doesn't feel comfortable to you. That's a huge concept in Alcoholics Anonymous. For somebody who stops drinking, it's going to feel a little bit weird. So what do you do to start feeling better about not drinking? You act as if. What would somebody who isn't drinking act like? Start following those actions, then the feelings come shortly thereafter.
My friend is currently on a quest to find her soulmate. So she's just looking for her perfect person to settle down with and have a great relationship. And what she's doing, she took a course, and that was some of the big advice, is to start acting as if you've already have this person in your life. So for her, that might mean little things like sleeping on the one side of the bed instead of the middle of the bed, or parking on one side of the garage and leaving room on the other side of the garage. But just start taking the actions as if somebody else is in her life. And I always thought that was an interesting way to do things. And that's something you can do with money as well. Maybe you can't go out and buy a yacht or something like that, but you can act as if things are coming to you and things are progressing and you're making that money. You can do that starting today.
Well, to take it back to the earlier example of being a speaker or getting in front of an audience, you have to give those 10 people in the audience the 1,000 person show. Same thing for your seminar. If you're going out doing a seminar where you can only get $97, you're giving them the $9.97 price, 10 times the value for the money that they're paying you. You don't just wait to show up until everything is in place, because nothing comes into place until you're ready for it.
Yeah, you'd end up never showing up.
And that includes your friend's soulmate. That includes your business success. That includes money. That includes everything. I wrote an entire book about this subject, and I find that regardless of whether you buy into making more money with this or not, it's just a good habit to get into. And that's the habit of gratitude, being appreciative of what you have. And the previous example that I just gave, I think, is that be appreciative of those 10 people. Be appreciative of that little amount of money that you have. When you show the universe, God, yourself, whomever, that you can appreciate what it is that you have and you have everything in order, that's when you start being able to handle more of it.
When I started to build my first email list, I was basing my feelings about that list on the number of people that had signed up for the list. And I kept trying to get more and more people, and it was all about the number. How many people can I get? How many people can I get to sign up for this? And what I was doing was I wasn't grateful for the 5 people that had signed up first and the 10 people and maybe the first 20 people. I wasn't grateful that they had even taken a chance to sign up for my list. I just kept trying to get that number higher. And I think we do that with money a lot of times, is we're not grateful for the money that we do have. We're just trying to get more. We're trying to get more, but why do you even need more? Like, that's not a question that I answered for myself in terms of my email list. Why do I need more people on my email list if I'm not engaging them in a way that shows gratitude for them, that adds value to them? So I think no matter how few people you have on your email list, how few people are at your show, if you're a musician, or how little money that you have, if you don't have gratitude for it, it's not going to grow. And it's not going to grow in the way that you want it to grow. So no matter what level you're at, you do have to start practicing the gratitude today. And that's something you can do at any time, is start that practice today.
The email list is such a great example. We have an email list on redpodcast.com. And so often I look at it. We haven't really worked the list. We haven't really tried to build it. There are not a lot of people on there compared to some of the other email lists that I have. And because of that, it's easy to skip over. It's easy to think, oh, I'll just do it next week. I'll skip this week. Nobody's reading it anyway. But how do you develop a list that people are going to join? How do you develop a list? How do you encourage people to pass something along if you don't send them good material? And that's what grows a list. Great analogy. Big idea I follow: the right action gets the right result. Not just any action, not just movement, but the right action. You want more money in your life? Trust that it's going to happen when you put in the right action. This is like clockwork. If you're providing value, if you're helping people to get what they want, money will come.
We're talking about trusting that money is going to come. This is not something that you just get in the right mindset and you burn some candles and some incense and sit around and sing Kumbaya and trust that money comes to you. Action is involved, and that you clarified the right action is involved, and adding value to the world and putting yourself out there. All of those things are involved. You have to move your feet if you're going to make this happen. You can't just sit around and try to be a magnet for money to come to you.
Can't just watch The Secret.
Yeah, you can't watch the movie The Secret and then just hope things come to you. That could work on some level if you're really super good. I'm sure that would work for you. But For the rest of us, we do have to move. We have to take right action. We have to overcome fears. We have to do a lot. And if you keep progressing and taking that right action over time, it's going to build up. It's like the compound effect. It's going to build up over time and lead to what you want. But you have to take that action.
Talking about The Secret, I actually love that movie, love the book, love the concept of it. We're sort of talking about that from a mindset standpoint, but we're also adding in what I call alignment, congruency with the action, because the mental aspect of this, big part of it, you got to be able to back it up, though. That's not the only element of it. That's not the only thing that you've got to focus on here. Back it up with right action. Right action gets right results, but going into that right action, have the right mindset. You have to know that it's possible in your brain before you can make it possible outside of your brain.
Another big idea is that you want to hang around other successful people. This is really critical. Of course, you've heard the statement that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. Probably your income is as well, your success level is as well. We've all heard that. That means go hang around successful people. Spend your time with these people that are more successful than you are. And believe it or not, that'll pull you up.
But it's not just hanging around them. Again, to take it back to the secret thing, you can't just think about it. It's about taking action. How do these people handle money? What are they doing in their day-to-day lives? It's about taking the same action that they are and becoming who they are. You can't get where you want to be if you are the same person that you are now. Otherwise, you'd already be there. You've got to become a different person, got to develop yourself, not only with mindset, but by taking action. And you learn those actions by watching people. Sometimes they're just going to show you what's possible. Like I mentioned earlier, you have to think about it in your brain before you can make it a reality. By hanging out with these people, they show you what's possible. That lets you know it's possible for you as well.
Look around at the people you are spending most of your time with, and are they spouting out, oh, I can't afford that. Oh, I don't have enough money for that. Oh, I'm stuck at my day job. Look at all those things. Start to pay attention to that because it could be keeping you stuck where you are.
So we're joking around about the book, The Secret, also a movie. What are some other books that have inspired you on this topic, Laurel?
A couple books that I like. I like the book Train Your Brain. It's by Dana Wilde. I had her on my previous podcast that I did, and she was great. It's not really a law of attraction book or anything like that, but it does talk about how acting as if and thinking in the right way and having the right mindset, how that really does affect your brain and what's going on in your brain and how you can use that to build success in your business. And in this case, she used the example of multi-level marketing businesses. But I thought that was a really fascinating book. Do you have any books that you recommend, David?
Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey, as far as getting your house in order when it comes to finances, working with what you have and respecting money. It's a great book. I can summarize it in a couple sentences. Basically, pay with cash, know where your money is going, and respect the money that you have. But if you want to read the book, Dave Ramsey's written about 10 books on that subject. Mm-hmm. He's done a good job. He's a great example for authors, speakers, and coaches of taking a single message and turning it into all sorts of products.
Another one that I like, and I can't remember if there's a ton of money mindset stuff, but it is a mindset success book, and that's The Magic of Thinking Big. And we've talked about that on this podcast a couple times, but that's a great book to just get in that mindset of what it is to succeed, surround yourself with other people that are succeeding, and to do the best work that you can do. That's
one of the greatest mindset books I think that was ever written, Magic of Thinking Big.
It's a good one.
The Strangest Secret, not The Secret, but The Strangest Secret is the one that started it all 50, 60 years ago. It's been a long time. The first gold spoken word album, that's how old it is. Also, one of the most popular ever as far as business mindset development. Earl Nightingale, you go to YouTube, search for Earl Nightingale, a lot of it's there, these old videos, a little black and white, kind of scratchy, but this guy really had it down. Great stories, and really understood what makes people great and had a good method of showing you how you can become great as well. Not just in your finances, but also in your life. When it comes to attracting money, Laurel, if you could just do one thing out of all the things that we're talking about, what would you do?
I don't know if there's one thing I would do, but I would say that a lot of people let money control them. And what we're talking about here is taking control of your life and your money and what you want to achieve and what you want to do and how much you want to make, because it's up to you. Especially as an entrepreneur, it is completely up to you to what you want to do. So I would say make sure that you're putting that value into the world that's going to bring the money back to you, and make sure that it's equivalent, because the value put out, that money will come back to you. The more value, the more money. So I'd get really clear on what you're putting out into the world, and it'll come back.
Agreed. Be deliberate, set the course, then go after it. If you have questions or comments, reach out to us. redpodcast.com is where to find us online. There you'll find past episodes. And if you're interested in getting Red Podcast delivered to your mobile device, every time we put one out, we've got our own apps for both iPhone and Android devices. Just search for Real Entrepreneur Development on iTunes, Google App Store, Amazon App Store. We will be there. It's free. You can download it at no charge. If you have questions, comments, feel free to reach out to us. You can get us via Twitter. And while you're on Twitter, if you could tell a friend about us, that would be appreciated. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next episode of Red Podcast.
You've been listening to Red Podcast, Real Entrepreneur Development. Subscribe today using iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS at redpodcast.com.
I don't know. Keep
Okay.
going. We'll see where you go.
No, but you know how, like, if you were to choke somebody, they're going to die. And that's because...
This is awful.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me try to ask you again. What do you mean by that? Just so everybody is on the same page. Because I know what you mean.
Well, what do you think I mean?
What do you think I think you mean?